The series begins with the boxer Gunwoo standing in front of his opponent, Pilsoon, right before the match. As he extends his hand to greet him respectfully, the opponent suddenly slaps him hard across the face in front of the press and everyone present, declaring, "I'm going to finish you." Gunwoo tries to control his temper as much as possible because his top priority is to respect his opponent and fight honorably. However, his coach, Woo Jin, loses his mind and lunges at the opponent to defend his friend's honor. We learn that their bond isn't just a coach-athlete relationship, they are like brothers. They met by chance over 5 years ago in a boxing match, and their friendship grew so deep that they now live together in the same house with Gunwoo's mother. At that exact moment, at the airport, we see a man who has just arrived in Korea with his men. It's clear from his appearance that he's a heavy hitter and didn't come to the country with good intentions. Strangely, as soon as the match begins, this same man is sitting among the audience. We learn his name is Bak Yeon, a ruthless loan shark who runs a betting company abroad. He came to Korea specifically to collect a debt from Pilsoon. Naturally, Pilsoon fights with all his might because he needs the prize money to pay off his debt. As for Gunwoo, his only focus is winning without severely injuring his opponent. This makes him hesitant in the first round. He defends without attacking, to the point that Bak tells his assistant, if Pilsoon plays like this, he'll win easily. Why did we even come to see him? Once the round ends, Woo Jin tries to snap Gunwoo out of it. He tells him, "Enough defending. You have to attack to win. Don't you trust my training?" He encourages him to use the clinch combo they've been practicing for over 3 months. Gunwoo returns to the ring highly motivated. He closes in on Pilsoon to use the technique a rapid succession of strikes until the opponent loses control and drops his guard. Gunwoo seizes the opportunity and strikes him in the face. He is about to deliver a second blow but hears the bell ringing to end the round, stopping at the very last second. During the break, Woo Jin tells him that since his opponent's left eye is injured, he must exploit that weakness and hit it again, which would end the match instantly. But Gunwoo refuses. The injury would require over 10 stitches, and he refuses to target it again. He says, "I can use our old technique. Trust me, I'll still win." Pilsoon thinks exactly the same way, expecting Gunwoo to target his injured eye, so he heavily guards his face. Anticipating this, Gunwoo strikes him hard in the ribs. Pilsoon goes down and can't get back up, declaring Gunwoo the winner. Before even celebrating his victory, Gunwoo approaches his opponent and asks, "Are you okay?" Pilsoon respects him deeply and apologizes for his earlier behavior. At the end of the day, Gunwoo and Woo Jin celebrate the win at home, grilling some special meat. Woo Jin says, "I feel so grateful for all the circumstances that brought us together. Because if I had accepted the offer to take 100 million won in exchange for working with that loan shark, I would still be beating people up just to hurt them." To understand exactly what happened, we need to rewind the events a few years. Before we delve into the details, a quick reminder to subscribe and like to support our efforts. My Instagram account is right here on the screen. Please visit it and suggest films you'd like a summary of. You'll find the link in the description. We flash back to the COVID era when Gunwoo's mother borrowed money from a loan shark company led by a man named Gil. The contract had a hidden clause. If she didn't pay within a day, the amount would double. Woo Jin was ready to do anything to help them, even willing to accept a shady offer, but Gunwoo firmly believed that boxing should never be used for anything illegal because the sport commands rules and respect. This brought Woo Jin back to the right path. Their journey to escape that nightmare was incredibly difficult, but they met many people who helped them overcome the ordeal, eventually putting Gil and his gang behind bars. To this day, they keep in touch with those people because they became family. Among them is Min, the heir to the IL group, who arrives loaded with gifts to celebrate with them. After eating and drinking, Min shows them the design for a charity hospital he plans to open. He announces, "I plan to dedicate an entire pediatric ward and register it under Mr. Ko's name." They are deeply moved because Mr. Cho was the one who helped them the most. But tragically, Gil killed him halfway through their journey. Back to Bak, who as his men take Pilsoon to an underground location. He tells him that since he can't pay, he must at least fight a boxing match for the money. Pilsoon is confident he'll win until Yoon, Bak's assistant, throws him 2 iron knuckles to wrap around his hands. Pilsoon refuses, stating this could kill his opponent. Yoon replies, "That's the whole point of the match. Or would you rather we kill your daughter instead?" Welcome to the Iron Fist tournament. We learn this is a dark web betting ring where matches are streamed live, and viewers bet massive amounts on their favorite fighters. In just a few minutes, They collect over $300 million. Dak takes a percentage, and the rest is transferred to the masterminds running the game from the shadows. As usual, Pilsung is overconfident. Seeing Bak, he laughs mockingly, thinking he'll beat him easily. Not only that, but pure malice and rage take over Bak. He orders the cameras turned off since the match is over, and then continues to brutally beat Pilsung until he is completely disfigured. Bak feels incredibly victorious because he won the match and earned 7 times the amount he made from the previous fight. This is where the disaster begins. He orders his assistant, "For the next match, bring me Gunwoo." He was mesmerized by Gunwoo's fighting style. Meanwhile, we see Yeon at her physical therapy session. Yeon used to work in cybercrimes and was one of the people who helped our heroes arrest Maongil. As a result, an accident was orchestrated against her, leaving her in a wheelchair. She undergoes physical therapy to regain movement in her hands. After finishing, she finds Gunwoo and Woojin waiting for her, as they do every week, to take her to the market for groceries. Yeon informs them that Min offered her a job at his company to protect his system from hacking. Feeling guilty for the constant help they give her, Yeon tells Woojin, "You guys are not to blame for what happened to me. This was my job, and I had to do it," but Woojin sees it differently. He reminds her, "You are part of our family, and that means we must protect you." At the end of the day, when they return home, they find a stranger inside. They rush in to check on their mother, only to be shocked to find Bak and his assistant sitting there. Noticing Gunwoo's hostility, Bak cuts straight to the chase. "I want to fight a boxing match with you. I run a boxing tournament called the Iron Fist, and in return, I'll give you 10 billion won. Gunwoo is stunned by the amount, especially since he's never heard of this tournament. The assistant explains it's an underground tournament with over 4 million subscribers. Dak is willing to do anything to make him agree, offering to double the amount, so Gunwoo can live comfortably and his mother will never need anything again. For a moment, Gunwoo actually seems to consider it, but his mother quickly steps in, warning him that easy money always comes with a heavy price. "Besides, I don't need anything, so don't you dare accept it," she says. Gunwoo snaps back to his senses and firmly refuses. But things aren't that simple. When Bak wants something, he takes it. Our heroes know he won't leave them alone, so they start digging into this tournament. When they find absolutely nothing, they realize it must be hosted abroad, and with over 4 million members, the people behind it are extremely dangerous. Woojin urges Gunwoo to ask their rich friends for help because they can't face this alone. But Gunwoo refuses. He doesn't want to drag his friends into danger again. "We've suffered enough last time. Let's start alone and see what happens." Meanwhile, Bak hires a specialist named Mr. Lee to find leverage against Gunwoo. Lee gathers photos of Maongil and his gang who were jailed because of our heroes and suggests we can break one of them out of prison, then use him to pressure Gunwoo until he surrenders. We'll also hire a team to kidnap Gunwoo's mother, trapping him from all sides. Bak feels the cost is too high because Lee wants $1 million for every prisoner. So, Bak chooses just one. BM, a massive and incredibly strong boxer. Lee's assistant hands him a list of materials to make explosives, but Lee laughs mockingly, saying the operation won't require all of that. We learn Yoon was a former Special Forces officer who went rogue. We see BM in his cell, punching the wall as if he's training. Suddenly, a book is delivered to him. He flips through it, knowing there's a message inside. He finds a pill and a note that reads, "Swallow this at noon in 2 days, and we will break you out of prison." At the end of the day, Bak's men arrive at Gunwoo's house. They disable the security cameras to sneak in and kidnap his mother without anyone noticing. But unfortunately for them, his mother fights back fiercely until she falls to the floor. Gunwoo and Woojin wake up to the news and rush to save her. A massive brawl erupts, ending with Bak's men fleeing the house after receiving a severe beating. Gunwoo, completely enraged, chases after them into the street to catch one and find out who they are. But suddenly, their getaway car explodes right in front of his eyes, killing everyone inside. This was all orchestrated by Yoon. The next day, when the police arrive, led by Officer Kim, they discover the cameras were hacked and disabled before the break-in. They tell the officer about Bak's visit and suspect him. Kim promises to investigate, but more importantly, he tells them the house is no longer safe. Woojin suggests the best solution is to stay at Yeon's house for a few days. But even as they leave, Yoon trails them in his car to discover their new location. Meanwhile, BM pulls the pill from his sock and swallows it. In less than a minute, he falls violently ill and loses consciousness. He's quickly loaded into an ambulance, where Lee happens to be the disguised doctor. Once they leave the prison grounds, the driver knocks out the accompanying guard, throws him out of the moving ambulance, and they drive off as if nothing happened. At Yong's house, she welcomes them warmly. Seeing them feel guilty, she reminds them they are all family. Since she used to work in cybercrimes, Woo Jin asks her to look into the Iron Fist tournament. When nothing shows up on regular search engines, she realizes it must be on the dark web. She explains, this is where illegal sites operate, highly encrypted to hide identities and locations. Because she used to shut down these exact types of sites, she bypasses the security easily. As soon as she searches the tournament's name, it appears, but there's a catch. To subscribe Band Watch, she must input personal credit card details, which could expose her identity to elite hackers. Gunwoo realizes they desperately need outside help. Woo Jin suggests they contact Mr. Moon to get broker cards, fake IDs made using the data of deceased people. Moon is a former Navy commander who now works as a legal loan shark. Yong stays silent since this is highly illegal, but Woo Jin agrees instantly. He tells Gunwoo to stay and protect them while he goes to meet Moon alone. Beam is taken to Bak's warehouse, where they inject him with an antidote to neutralize the pill. As soon as his pulse returns and he wakes up, he sees Lee, who says, "Thank you for agreeing to the deal," and extends his hand. But Beam isn't planning on any deal. He snarls, "I just used you to escape," and uses his massive muscles to beat up everyone in the room. Dak watches silently from his car to see what Beam is truly capable of. Once Beam finishes off his men, Bak steps out to face him himself. After effortlessly subduing Beam, Bak tells him, "You're decent at boxing, but not that strong. Consider yourself one of my men." When Moon sees Woo Jin, he is thrilled and greets him warmly, as they are both former Navy officers. Upon hearing the story, Moon immediately understands the request and hands over the fake IDs. Not only that, he insists on actively helping them, reminding Woo Jin of the Navy code. An attack on one sailor is an attack on the entire Navy. We are in the same boat, and 3 are better than 2. Moon jumps right into mission mode, asking if Woo Jin came alone or was followed. Woo Jin, too stressed to notice, has no idea. Moon tells him to drive his car while he observes from the window. Seeing another car tailing Woo Jin, Moon memorizes the plates and follows them. Woo Jin calls Gunwoo to tell him to pack everything and find a new place because the gang found them. He apologizes to Young because she has to come with them. They can't leave her alone now that her address is compromised, and she completely understands. Woo Jin tries to call Min, but there's no answer. Shortly after, Min's assistant calls back, explaining Min is in a crucial meeting. So Woo Jin swallows his pride and asks the assistant to provide a safe house and a fast motorcycle. Meanwhile, Yoon sees through the cameras that Gunwoo and his mother are packing to leave. He quickly calls back, "I can't get the mother now, so we'll change the plan," and grab his friend. "But I need heavy backup." Yoon drives to a deserted area, knowing Woo Jin will follow him, and exactly that happens. Even though Yoon is facing Woo Jin and Moon alone, he is incredibly powerful, holding off both men. Eventually, they overpower him and knock him out. Just as they are about to drag him to the car, 3 large vans full of thugs arrive. In situations like this, running is the only option. After Gunwoo safely moves his mother and Yeon to Min's hotel, he takes the motorcycle and speeds to the location. He arrives to find Bak's men brutally beating his best friend. Woo Jin is battered to a pulp. Gunwoo goes completely berserk, tearing through the thugs one by one until he annihilates them. He grabs Woo Jin and Moon and rushes them to the hospital. At the hospital, Gunwoo calls his mother to assure her he's fine, but he breaks down in tears. "I am the reason this happened to them. If I had just agreed to the match, none of this would be happening." His mother tries to comfort him. "They are helping you because they want you to be okay. If Woo Jin was in your place, would you let him fight a death match? Don't be so hard on yourself." In that moment, Min's assistant messages Commander Yeon Min to help Gunwoo because he has reached a point where he can't survive alone. Seeing Gunwoo cry, Moon gets upset. Despite his rough exterior, he tells Gunwoo, "You have to harden your heart until it turns to iron. That is the only way you will protect your family." Later, the commander takes Young Min to the hospital to assure Gunwoo they are with him to the end. But there's a slight problem. When the commander hears Moon owns a loan shark company, his face darkens. "If you do anything illegal, I will lock you up myself." Moon assures him his business is legal and his only priority is helping Gunwoo. Min diffuses the tension and assures them his mother is safe. Now reunited, they swear never to give up. Dak unleashes his fury on Yoon, aggressively grabbing him by his stitched ear. "Am I paying you all these millions just for you to come back and say sorry? Or would you prefer I send your daughter to an orphanage?" Yoon is terrifying and profusely apologizes. Later, Woojin arrives at the hotel to reassure Gunwoo that his injuries are superficial. Gunwoo feels incredibly guilty, saying he should have arrived sooner. Woojin jokes, "I just need a good lunch and I'll be fine." When Moon returns to his office, his assistant informs him that a gang born in 1999, called 99T, is the only group driving the specific car that tailed Woojin, and their headquarters, Sinyeongsan. At the end of the day, Bak gathers his men to solve their massive crisis. DM suggests the fastest way to get Gunwoo is to pressure his friends, specifically the wealthy heir, Min. We learn Bak is doing all this to convince a foreign company to invest heavily, and having a legendary boxer, like Gunwoo, is essential to secure the deal. Meanwhile, a corrupt cop calls Lee, informing him that Officer Kim is meeting the chief investigator tomorrow to hand over all the evidence. Lee transfers 20 million won for a copy of the files. Dak at the hotel, Yeon uses the fake IDs to access the dark website. They are shocked to find a deep fake image of Gunwoo completely covered in blood, something that has never happened in real life. The match is scheduled for March. They watch the latest video and realize Pilsoon was forced to fight. As they dig deeper, a hacking alert flashes. Bak's men set a trap. Yeon tries to fight back, but the enemy hacker easily breaches her system, forcing her to shut it down before they pinpoint her location. Woojin and Moon raid the 99T gang's headquarters to extract information, but the gang members are completely unhinged and attack them on sight. Meanwhile, Gunwoo and the commander go to meet Officer Kim. As Kim crosses the street toward them, an assassin suddenly speeds past him, stabs him with a sharp weapon, and vanishes in a split second. Gunwoo sprints after him, but the assassin parkours between buildings and escapes. The commander calls Gunwoo with devastating news: Kim has died. Gunwoo feels an overwhelming sense of guilt, realizing that the longer this goes on, the more people he loses. To make matters worse, Woojin calls to say the police arrested them after the gang fight. The commander sits down with the precinct chief to resolve the issue amicably and gets them released, but he pulls Moon aside, warning him sternly, "Stop acting on your own. Any illegal move will end badly for you." Surprisingly, Moon respects his words and promises to inform him before doing anything. Feeling he was too harsh, the commander asks Moon to press the gang leader to find out who hired them. Moon is thrilled they are finally working together.